So, as we all remember, the Miami Dolphins, they traded back, they got a bunch of draft capital, but then they gave up a first round pick to get back into the top six. And at the time, it was largely defended. But looking back at it, I'm not really entirely sure why, because I kind of feel like this is a huge mistake. If they had a number three, then they'd be looking much better than the number six. But if they had the number 12, they at least get a bunch of draft capital. I feel like here at number six, they're in a bit of no man's land because if you think about it, the top three picks are probably going to be quarterbacks. They don't need a quarterback, that's fine. But then they're going to be basically probably watching Pitts and Sewell go 4 and 5. So maybe they're going to be in a much better situation if someone trades at the Falcons to get a quarterback. That's really, I think, the dream scenario for Miami. But if that doesn't happen, there's a very real chance that Kyle Pitts and Penei Sewell are both gone. And now you're kind of stuck, I feel like, with kind of these second tier players now, because I do think that Pitts and Sewell are the two guys where I'm just looking at and saying they're going to be stars. Now, some people feel that way about Ja'Marr Chase. Some people feel Ja'Marr Chase is going to be just this complete star. I'm not one of them personally. I think that he's going to be really good. I think he could be a star, but I think that drafting a wide receiver number 6 doesn't make sense. I mean, especially when you have multiple first round picks, just draft a wide receiver with your other first round pick. And instead, you could use this pick to potentially get like a Micah Parsons, right? Because Parsons is really perfect for that defense. You know, the way he fits in, he could blitz 12 times a game potentially with that defense. They love the blitz. So him kind of being that, I feel like I've compared Micah Parsons to Devin White for Tampa Bay. And this is a very similar system to what Devin White has thrived in. Whereas Parsons, I don't think he's awful in coverage. I think that's overblown. And I think that what he can do in sort of the blitzing game and the running game, it can completely change things. I think they could use a linebacker personally, and getting Micah Parsons could turn their defense, which I do feel like there are some weaknesses. Like I feel like a good running team can beat them that way. And so if you can make that work and you can sort of clear up that issue to some degree, you could be looking in great shape. So personally, I think if I have the number 6 pick, well, personally, I don't think I trade back up to number 6 right there, probably. But at the same time, I definitely think that what I do is I trade or I select Micah Parsons and try to just make an elite defense. Because, listen, I know everyone's saying, well, their defense is so good. People said the same thing about New England's, and it sort of fell off a little bit. Didn't fall off a cliff or anything, but it did have a step down. Part of that was losing Dante Hightower, but that's pretty much all they lost, and that was due to COVID, so he's back. So, very similar defenses. I could see there being a step back. There is some concern of that, and I think draft the best player that's going to help you the most, whereas for your wide receiving core, if you draft a Kadarius Toney in this with your other first-round pick, you're looking way better, I think. I think your team just looks better in that spot because you already have Will Fuller, you already have Devontae Parker. Both, by the way, are guys who primarily win as plus receivers. So now you're going to add Ja'Marr Chase, another guy who primarily wins as a plus receiver. Well, you can't have 3 guys play closest to the sideline. That doesn't work. There's only 2 sidelines. So someone's going to have to play slots. So it's not even a great fit for the offense, whereas Parsons is a great fit for the defense. I really believe that Micah Parsons should be the pick there. That's what I think. Now, some people might go with Rashawn Slater here, but I can't get behind Rashawn Slater. I think that's too high of a pick for a tackle. I think he'll be good. I think there's better tackles though, and I think it's a reach for me. And again, you could have gotten him at 12. So I don't know. I'm worried that it's going to be a huge mistake getting Ja'Marr Chase, but then you might have other issues, and I think that getting Parsons would make their team better. I think people are going to disagree with me on it, so that's kind of why I wanted to bring it up. What do you guys think? Am I out of my mind? Is Ja'Marr Chase just this absolute legend that's going to step onto the field? I mean, I've talked about how statistically a wide receiver who's selected in the top 10 is more likely to be a bust than to be a number 1 receiver. So there is some concerns there, whereas linebackers, you tend to be pretty good about drafting them. People do a pretty good job of drafting linebackers for the most part when they should. Not always perfect, but you have a better hit rate with linebackers than with wide receivers. So, yeah, I mean, quick video, just sort of a general thoughts. I don't make these kind of things too often, but I figured I'd make one, see what you guys think. So let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on this situation. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.